Hi, I'm Ron from the Neepawa Rotary Club. I'd like to tell you a little bit of what our club has been up to. Come on, follow me. One of the things our Rotary Club is most proud of is our connections with the youth in our community. Our club is also very proud to support youth internationally. There are a few things that we do to make our meetings interesting, informative, and fun. A slideshow is used to keep members informed of important events and upcoming dates. We try to fit in fun wherever we can. We try to have one special event every month. We use social media and a variety of print options to promote ourselves.
Good evening and welcome back to our Neepawa Rotary Auction Report. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for NAC TV for filming and producing these programs. I'd like to thank Dave Bennet, our man on the camera. My name is Lyle Watson, and again we thank you for tuning in tonight. And we have a new guest we would like to introduce, and we're going to do that shortly. Before I do that, I'm hoping that each and every one has had an opportunity to go on to our website and to get registered for our upcoming online auction. As you know by now, it's running from December 3rd through till December 10th, and the closing bids will be on the evening of December 9th and the 10th of December. So you have a whole week to do your bidding. We have lots of a wide selection of valuable donations here, and we thank our donors for donating and giving us such a wide range of auction items to present to the public, and to the bidders that are getting online. We appreciate that, and we look forward to your support and this fundraising auction coming up. Anyways, the pickups of the items after the auction is December 11th. The terms and conditions of the auction are outlined very clearly in the website. So if you have the website, or just go to the Neepawa Rotary Auction, you can find your way through the website and get the terms and conditions. Okay, with that, we're pleased to continue on with our programming, talking about Rotary, Rotary members, and community, and how we can work together and how everyone benefits when we do work together. And this auction and your support from the donors and the bidders is a prime example of how communities can work together and in turn help Rotary help the community. With that, I would like to introduce our guest for tonight, longtime Rotarian Ernie Mauthe, Ernie, thank you for joining us today and taking the time to be with us and spend a few minutes sharing some of your thoughts.
Well, thank you for asking me, Lyle, but I checked back, I joined Rotary in 1996.
1996. Wow. What inspired you, or how did you become a member?
Well, I had a neighbor there, Herb Osmond,
Yes.
and I'd get to talking to him, and he suggested that I, go to Rotary, so I thought it over and I did. And I went to a Rotary meeting that was down in the hotel, I think, at that time. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
anyway. And so I decided to, it was well worth my time to join Rotary because I always like to do something, and Rotary has lots of things to do. So.
And you've been a prime, just an outstanding example of that, Ernie. We look around the town and there's signs, there's the lookout towers at Park Lake and the refurbishing and the repainting just recently. You have been an active part of all the work projects we've had since 1996. Is there any particular one that stands out in your mind that you're really proud of?
I think overall, the one that I get the most, or have gotten the most satisfaction out of, was the Rotary auction. I used to set up the canvassing and whatnot, and I would canvass myself, and no, it was something that I felt I could do, and I felt I was doing something.
Yes,
So.
and you were chair of the canvas part of our Rotary auction for quite a number of years, were you not?
I don't remember.
It was quite a number of years.
Yes, it was.
One thing I'm going to ask you that you might remember is, did you move to Neepawa in 1996 then? Did that happen?
Actually, yes. I moved to, or we moved to Neepawa in '96 in not that early, August or sometime, and I joined Rotary late that fall.
Yes. Okay, so it was right after you come.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to ask you, Ernie, where did you come from and where did you spend your previous life before moving to Neepawa?
Do you want to know it all?
No, no. I just want to know where you moved from
okay.
when you come to Neepawa.
We moved from Waldersea, Manitoba, and Waldersea is where I was born.
Yes.
And Waldersea, I farmed there for 35 years at Waldersea.
Yes.
I did other things besides farming, but that was where we lived for, yeah,
For many years.
35 years, I think.
I'm going to give you a break, Ernie. I'm not going to ask you where Waldersea, Manitoba is, because I just know that all our viewers know where Waldersea, Manitoba is and have probably been there many times. So I'm glad that you decided to come from Waldersea and move into Neepawa and be a friend and neighbor and a good community worker, and both you and Doreen contributed lots to this community. And through Rotary, is there any other experience in Rotary that stands out in your mind besides the community work and being able to give back to community?
Not on the moment, I don't. I mean, there are many other things that,
Yes.
but that Rotary.
The fellowship maybe be one,
Well,
because you said you were
absolutely,
looking.
yeah. Like there was fellowship, and Rotary, there was always something to do. And that kept me, if there was something to do, if I could do it, I would go ahead and do it. And that sort of made my day.
So it helped in giving you a purpose to enjoy your retired years.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And was there any other benefits that you can think of that you enjoyed the Rotary for, or working within the community? And Like I'm thinking, Ernie, when you were in charge of the canvas or the canvas chairperson, you must have got to know and meet a lot of people when you were making your rounds and working with other Rotarians in the canvas, because you talked to a lot of people.
Being canvas chair, I don't recall going out with Rotarians to canvas. If somebody had a question, they'd ask me or whatever, but no, I just, and like, I guess I'd have to say, no matter what I was doing throughout my whole life, if I could do something, I'd try to do it, because I like to keep busy and be able to, you know, think I did something, so.
Yes. And along with that, you have a lot of skills, and you've shown and demonstrated that many times in a lot of our community projects that you were participated in Rotary, and you were able to teach and help a lot of other people do some of these projects because of your skills.
Well, you call them skills. All the skills I have, they came naturally, so I wasn't taught skills, I just learned them, I guess.
And sometimes that's the best way.
I suppose.
It is. Well, you've done an excellent job in all the projects that you've demonstrated your skills, and your ability to work together with people has been very much appreciated on behalf of the Rotary Club. I'm thinking about community service. Would you, what are your thoughts, expressing any thoughts to the community about community service and being part of our community? You had a good feeling, I know, of being part of Neepawa because you were out and doing things. Did that benefited you quite a bit, didn't it?
Well, I suppose, like, even no matter where I was or even after I retired, if there was something to do, I would go ahead and do it, because it just made me feel better to be able to do something. So, and Rotary is about the same thing. Yeah, there's lots of things that you can do with Rotary, help with Rotary, and so.
And that brings us to number 4 on our 4-way tester, and it says, "Will it be beneficial to all concerned?" And all the work that we do, we hope that we meet that number 4 in the 4-way test, but you have been a prime example of that too.
The first one there, is it the truth? Yeah, it's the truth.
It's
the truth. I've never made a point of lying or something, but
Yeah.
so.
Well, with that thought in mind, again, on behalf of Rotary, we express our appreciation to you, Ernie, for your contribution to our club and to the community. And I know that you continue on. You were out working full bore this fall on all our projects too, so we appreciate that very much. And thank you today for taking the time to join us. And we encourage you to get registered in on our auction site and maybe even bid on a few items. There must be some Christmas items here. You can do your shopping locally at the Neepawa Auction Rotary as a member too.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen the list of the things that are available, but
If there's something you can use, or your family, one of your family members or neighbors could use that you could buy locally,
yeah,
do your Christmas shopping.
yeah, for the family, yeah. I will have to give that a thought.
Good. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming down, and you have a good day.
And you as well, Lyle.
Well, that concludes this portion of our program, and we look forward to continuing on. Stay tuned.
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. Is it the truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good? Will it better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? When we pay it forward, it will be returned. When we pay it forward, it will be returned.
Well, welcome back to the Neepawa NACTV Neepawa Rotary Auction Report, and my name is Lyle Watson, and we're continuing on with our program this evening, and I'm pleased to have as our next guest a very active Rotarian, active community member, and a longtime resident of our community here at Neepawa. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our guest, Dave Bennet. Dave, thank you for taking the time in your busy schedule. He's been very much part of this whole programming aspect, and thank you for taking the time to join us on the other side of the chair today.
Well, it's been a pleasure working with you on this project, Lyle. Thank you very much.
Well, it's been fun, and we've talked about a lot of things, and I think we've learned some things from our members that we didn't know before, which was good. I've got a few questions I'd like to ask of you, Dave. You have been raised here in the community, have been a Rotarian for many years, but there is a difference between a member of a Rotary Club and actually being a Rotarian, as I've recently learned. Could you just explain that a little bit?
Yeah, that was interesting. It was one of my international travels when I was in England at a Rotary conference, and one of the speakers, that was his question, when did you become a Rotarian? And everybody beside me was saying, well, I joined here and I joined then, and this gentleman interrupted, no. He said, when did you become a Rotarian? Not when you joined a Rotary Club. So I felt in my case that I had become a Rotarian far before I ever joined a club. Because once I found out what Rotary was about and really got involved in it by being inside the Rotary Club, I realized I've been a Rotarian for a long time.
Well, that's an interesting point, Dave, and just for the information for our viewers, I mentioned earlier in an earlier program where the Rotary Club of Neepawa was chartered in 1951, and Dave's dad was a charter member, so he had been exposed to Rotary since a young age, of course, but become a Rotarian over the years before he became a member. So that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
You've had many experience and have served in many capacities throughout Rotary. International work has been one of your highlights, Dave. Can you share a little bit of your experiences internationally?
Certainly. Well, that's where my idea of when I became a Rotarian, I went on teacher exchange to England in 1969, and then again to Australia in 1975. And really the roots of the international component of Rotary, I think, were sown then, because we met so many people on those 2 year-long exchanges that we still keep in contact with over the years. So it's just become part of our, when I say our, I mean Myra and I and our family, connections around the world with people. And I really, really enjoy that part of Rotary. I really, then we kind of got involved, and that's how I became formally involved with Rotary. When Peter Nicholas, as one of the first exchange students that came over here from Australia, and Ivan Trail was in charge of that program, then asked us if we would host him as a son, an exchange son, which we did. And of course, people that do that, you just enjoy that so much. We really did. And so that extended our belief and our enjoyment of the internationality. Our older son went on exchange, and we had another Australian boy live with us. I joined Rotary in between there, and Myra and I both became involved in the youth exchange program, hosting, being counselors for the kids here. Of course, I was teaching at the school, so I had lots of opportunity to share that fondness of that with the students and the staff and so on. So that was a real part of what I enjoyed with Rotary, the start of that kind of international program.
That's an interesting, when you exchanged to England, was your family of school age then, or were they?
Cam was a baby. It was quite interesting because Myra's mother said, well, you can't take a baby to England. This child was like 5 months old. My grandson, I said, well, they've got lots of babies over there, Grandma. I think they're experienced. So what she meant was you can't take my grandson over there. But yeah, when we went to Australia, our 2 boys were 5 and 8, I think. So they were in formal education at that time. So yes, they did get to know that.
But you've also had some experiences within the district and locally, of course. You've done a lot of work in the community. District experiences, what was your experiences there?
Well, again, with the international end of it, Ivan Trail, which is a bit of a mentor to me, as you would well imagine. I was his vice principal, and Ivan went on a GSE exchange. That's a group study exchange as a leader to Denmark, I think it was. Yes, it was. back, 30 years ago, I'm guessing. And that's a program that Rotary ran for a long time, where a leader, a Rotarian leader, would go with a group of young professionals, aged 25 to 40, into another district, another country, and become immersed in Rotary over there. They were involved in the cultural aspects of it. They spoke to Rotary clubs. It was a vocational program, so that they actually were to experience their personal vocation in another country, and so on. Those programs were about a month long. Of course, our club hosted many of those as they came back this way.
Yes.
As well. The district always had a group going out and a group coming in. Neepawa Club wasn't always involved, because they would come for a month. They might visit 6 clubs in that month, and with 40-some clubs, you didn't get the opportunity every year.
Yes.
But Neepawa did, I'll bet on average, every 3 years we had a group come. We had them from Korea, from Japan, from India. We had, I think it was Sweden we had. So we had lots of them, and we really enjoyed that. We got to host those people for a few nights in their home and learn a bit about their culture and that. So I always had it in my mind that once I retired, I'd like to get more involved and be able to do some traveling with Rotary. So I applied to be the leader, and that'd be back in 2011, I think it was. That I had the opportunity, and I took my own team to England for a month. There was a local connection. Jody Jury went with me on my team there, and there were 3 others that went. There was a police officer lady, another gal that was in middle management of the water services in Saskatchewan, and another fellow that was in the legal system in Saskatoon. And we went over there and had a great time. We were hosted by the English people very well. Then another group came back. Of course, Neepawa did get to host that time because we were involved in it. So we've had a lot of Neepawa area people go out on these things as well. But Ivan and I were the only 2 that ever went as a leader, I think. Now that program morphed about 3-4 years ago into a vocational training team program. They call it VTT now, and it's more humanitarian in nature. And I was on the selection committee with Ivan before, and sort of moved on and became on the selection committee for this VT teams. We sent a team of teachers to Ethiopia for a month to work with schools and that over there. In Ethiopia, the education system is very rote. I mean, 40, 50 children in a room, dirt floor. All they maybe had one piece of paper and a pencil, and that was it. And it was extremely rote learning. So the team was trying to teach the teachers to try to do a little more with the kids with those large groups, more difficult of course, but try to just impart some of that new ways, methods of teaching to them, which they really enjoyed, the kids did of course. And there was a component also sanitation in it. We did have a nurse that went with the group, and she taught some things as far as sanitation, that sort of thing. We got some water wash-up places put into some schools and some things like that as well. Then we did it again with another group to Guatemala, and that's the one that Ron Nordstrom went to Guatemala, and he or Bob or somebody referenced that program. So that was the VTT program. Then, I guess my last effort in that, and right now I'm the district chair of the Friendship Exchange program. And this one is for Rotarians, for ourselves. You pay your own way, but you go and live with another Rotary district, with the people of another Rotary district. Runs from 12 days to maybe 2 weeks at a time. And we've had 2 Rotarians from our club and their wives. Dawn and Susan Small went to Australia, and also Murray and Donna Newton went to Australia on trips that I organized. One of those groups came back here. They didn't come to Neepawa, they went to the northern Saskatchewan area, so we didn't actually get to see them. The other Australia group never did come back. We also sent a group to India. That group did come back. That was a couple of years ago. And of course, COVID hit, so my next exchanges that I had organized were Brazil and England, and they're, I guess, pending is the best you can say about them right now. But it's so enjoyable to work with people around the world on things like this.
The other thing I would like to get an expression of your opinion on is community and Rotary and working together all ties together, especially now in this time of COVID, it's even more important. But in terms of our Rotary auction, the commitment we get from the donors, the bidders, and Rotary and everybody working together is just fantastic. I want to make a note, Dave, that you and Myra have worked tirelessly for this community over the many years you've been here. What aspect of the community part of the work have you enjoyed the most, and what benefits have you got out of it personally?
Well, I guess I'm a kind of a detailed guy, as people might have noticed, so that's the part of these projects and that I get quite involved in and interested in. So Ernie Mauthe mentioned he was the canvas chair, and of course it was all pencil and paper with Ernie, and I worked with him a little bit, and he was ready to give that up, and I took it over because I could see that, well, it needed some computerization, I suppose you might say. And so I enjoyed converting all of that. That took me 2 or 3 years to get it kind of worked in. So that part of it's really good, but it's working with the club members that I've really locally become very interested in, and I'm club service chair right now, which is to try to keep the club together, and in these COVID times that's a bit difficult. So this particular project here of our TV shows has got us all involved, which has really been nice. For the community and the donors, they've always been good to the Rotary Club. We have such a high esteem, I think, in the community. People look up to Rotary. I remember a retiree that came to town, and I asked him to join Rotary, and he said, you know, Dave, I think I might. I'll consider it. But you know, I asked around to see what club a fellow should join, and I was told, you join the Rotary Club. That's where the action is.
Well, one thing that I envy you somewhat for is your energy towards community service. Your energy towards being a Rotary member hasn't changed over all the years I've known you, Dave, and we are getting a little older, but your energy level hasn't, so we thank you for that commitment and the enthusiasm you bring to the projects, as this auction report is a prime example, because you were very instrumental in getting it together, and it's been fun to work with you. Our time has run out, Dave. Unfortunately, it goes very quickly. Final thought that you would like to share with us today would be what?
Well, I'm just hoping that these shows that we're putting together show the community a bit of what Rotary is and what our members are, and how all of us feel strongly about being a Rotarian, and that you know, we promote Rotary in that way, and also promote the auction. Of course, we're trying to do that as well, because it's our major fundraiser, and that's how we help our community as well as our donations around the world.
Well, we thank you for that thought, Dave, and we thank you for all the work you've done within the community and as a Rotary member, and we look forward to working together some more once the Rotary auction is over. Thank you for joining us today, Dave.
Thanks, Lyle.
Well, that concludes this program, and I think I would like to say that just stay tuned, and there will be another program, because we're going to be on until the auction subsides on December the 9th. Okay. Have a good evening, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.